So, you wanted to know about soulless ones. Okay, so in the beginning of time stuff, they were gods. Okay, you and Luna, those stuff. Yeah. At the time, there wasn't much there, just the star and stuff. Creating stuff in universes. One day, a god popped out of nowhere. Like you and Val. Creating yourself from nothing, I guess. He created himself from nothing, I guess. Or the stars, somehow. They thought Luna created him, but they didn't. So they didn't really find it from anything. He didn't even know how he created himself either, so they didn't buy it. They only knew he was one of them. So the Dark One helped with creating stuff, aka humans and stuff. But something went wrong. He started to create humans, but humans looked monstrous. The monster types. They didn't really do anything about it because, still, human. They can talk like humans. They're just a monster kind. They called it like a monster or whatever. I don't care what you say. But when they died, one of them died from something, they came back. And well, that was a bad thing for them. Because once you die, that's your only life. As a human, I guess. Not you can't get your body back, your human body back. They keep coming back and back and back, and they asked him what was wrong with him. The god name was the Dark One. I'm calling him for now. Forgot what I was going to call him the first time, but the Dark One is. I'm calling him. He doesn't know his own abilities. He only knows he can make things exist and not exist stuff. So he can just create a nuke out of nowhere, or make something that is not existent to their reality. Like the Adaptium star, made of Adaptium. Can't be destroyed, only has one weakness. I'm not going to share it to you because I don't want you to know it yet. That's a yet. But after a while, those soulless ones thought the gods were a pain, a not nice people, someone that just rules over without doing order and stuff. So they did a rebellion against them. And the Blood Shadows joined them because they were banished from their own kind for being a different type of shadow. A bunch of different types of shadows were banished from the Shadows line. So they helped in the war. The Soulless War, they called it, because they called it the Soulless Ones. Something that doesn't have a soul, but it gained a soul out of thin air. Anything got a soul. Even when they created someone to gain a soul, they did it for them. Now, here comes another part, a part of this thing. After the war, when they got defeated, they made a banishment spell. It can't be used again. They banished them away from all realms, frozen in time, and froze their place in time forever. Unless one thing happens. At the break of that, 5 soulless generals sacrificed themselves and made a prophecy. A prophecy. If the 5 or any one of them, it doesn't have to be the 5. It has to be like one of them. If all of them or one of them, or how many of the ones, gets to where they got banished from, the place where it is, and opposites the spell, they can break it and bring them back. And the soulless ones that got captured, but there was one that survived. So they just locked him in a cage area. AKA, he was put somewhere no one else can go. Since he can't die, he was put in the void. He keeps on dying and dying, coming back. And they know him now as, well, the snake, or worm, a astral now. He was he was an astral soulless one. So he was put there, forever to be left behind. And, well, we have a couple more things. The five that have been given the souls were Corrupt Code, Baby Shine, the Overlord. Technically was Dark Helmet, but he revealed himself as the Overlord. Well, I'm trying to think. A Shadow Slime thing. And Corrupt Code. The first one ever being was, well, Baby Shine. Then it was that Shadow Slime thing. Then it was Corrupt Code. Then it was Infected Code. And now it is, well, Dark Comet. Well, what's Dark Comet's third? I think it was third, then Corrupt Code, then it was Infected Code. Those are the five soulless ones. Has the souls of the generals. So they could create stuff. Powerful stuff. Some of the soulless items were left behind in the world. One of them called the Blood Sword. What the fuck are they doing? Anyways, we have some others. Now that they're free from two people, aka the Shadow one and the Infected Code one, both did something that made that happen. They cannot die, but it takes a lot of time to regenerate. A few days, to be exact. It could be a week if you're the weaker ones. The leader was banished too. But after that thing, they can only bring one with their two combined powers, so they brought back the leader. That summoned his own soulless ones back, because he had that power. They have skills. Healer stuff, the other stuff, fighting, tanks, slows down, trappers, even a mimic one. That's a good thing, a mimic thing. But, there's another one you should be worried about. Actually, no, there's not. Why am I saying that? There's not. It was the mimic one. That's why I was saying. It could be anyone. You won't be able to trust anyone. But until the puppet strings are over and the fox is defeated, a little bit after that, I will begin my main villain with Infected Code and the Soulless ones, killing off the Soulless ones. If Matthew just makes Baby Shine die and makes the other Soulless ones got infected by Baby Shine on Soulless ones. So yeah. That's the real story, but what happened to the god, the dark one? He was banished because after helping the gods destroy the Soulless ones, they didn't want him around, so they banished him below the star. Away from the star, but below it, called the void. Banished him to something called the departed space. A departed place from their spacelands called the Void. Nothing can enter it. It's below something called the Fourth Wall. I guess the cracks cracked him also to be free. That's what I'm doing for his wall. The cracks of the fourth wall was cracking. Some of the pieces hit his chains, and they broke it. It will only get broke if everything around him broke, aka the top broke. He was able to do his mind through the others. The guards erased the memories of this because they didn't want to remember the trauma they had endured with this. And well, they're done with that. They still remember all of it, they just forgot everyone else. That's it.